Hi, Sam here from Roberts Geospatial. Let's take a quick look around the new features that are in ProRaster Scientific. So ProRaster Scientific builds upon ProRaster Premium. Let's go around the interface and see what features are new. So as before, you have a multiple algorithm interface. You can select the algorithm you want to edit and then edit it via these property pages with undo and redo, add your layers, manipulate your layers and your components. So looking around, firstly, here on the right of the algorithm name is the reload the current algorithm button. So if your raster data changes externally and you want to update the algorithm and redisplay it, hit the reload button and it will bring it all back in with the modified data. Over here on the tooltip reporting mode, you'll see that there's a new option called coordinates, and that will just give you the X and Y coordinate when you drag the cursor over the map, and you can format your coordinates so we can go to geodetic latitude and longitude, or we can go to decimal latitude and longitude, or we can just go to decimal X and Y. So here we have easting and northing. On the zoom button, there's a new little option. So if I zoom in here a little bit and I come down to zoom manually, I can now just hit set the algorithm clipping bounds, and the map extents have been populated here in this dialog. Hit OK. And now the algorithm is zoomed and clipped to that extent. If I go zoom to algorithm unbounded, it takes me back out to the full extent. So let's come back to perhaps this algorithm. Now in ProRaster Premium you can open a floating map, and that will make your map float, and you can resize it, maximize it, do whatever you want, put it on another screen. In ProRaster Scientific, you can open multiple floating maps, and they're all independent, so you can display whatever you want, except that they're all rendering the same algorithm. When you hit the preview button, they all collapse and come back into the main dialog. And you can do that for every algorithm that you have open, and when you swap between algorithms, those external map windows will be brought to the front, depending on which algorithm you select. Just up here on the options menu, there's just one option here I want to show you. It says only load and show the current algorithm. So if I tick that on, what will happen is that when I change algorithms to this to a different one, all the other algorithms will get unloaded from memory. Now, if you're working with multispectral satellite data, an algorithm might access hundreds or thousands of rasters. It may be using gigabytes and gigabytes of memory, and so it can be a useful option to unload those algorithms when you're not editing them, so that you free up that memory for use with your other algorithms. In the tree here, you can see that we have some new components. So firstly, there's the mask component. Mask component is available in all layers. It only has a one property page, the component property page, and all you have to do is select the raster. So where the mask raster has a valid cell, then the algorithm will be rendered. Where the mask raster has invalid cells, the algorithm will not be rendered. And I use that with the multispectral data. So for example, here we have, let's turn off masking altogether, and you can see we have clouds and so forth in this satellite scene. And then we turn it on and put it to, say, land, and now it's clipped out all of the water and all of the clouds. Or we can put it on water and it'll clip out the land. Or we can put it on clear pixels, and now it's retaining all valid pixels, but it's clipped out the cloud pixels that are considered to be invalid. So that happens in real time, just in the algorithm. The second option we have is pan. I don't know, I might have to bring up another example. So let's go to Landsat 8 and 9. We want raw, 8 and 9 raw, this one. Render the scene. Now we'll turn on pan sharpening. Okay, so perhaps just zoom, this is Adelaide, so we'll just zoom in here. So we have a pan sharpening component here in the tree. If I turn that off, you'll see that the resolution worsens. It goes from 15 metres to 30 metres apparent, and turn it on. So with pan sharpening, again, you just have to select the panchromatic band that you're going to use for pan sharpening, and then you need to provide a data transform for that pan sharpening. So by fiddling with the data transform, you can change the brightness of the pan sharpening, and it can be used to adjust the imagery a little bit. Down here, you might notice that the Publish to MapInfo button is gone. It's been replaced by a Processing button. And on the Processing menu, you have all these options, and down here is the old Publish options to MapInfo. Over here, we have the Multispectral Satellite Scene Database button that allows you to open these multispectral satellite scene databases, and there are a whole bunch of options associated with those. And here we have the Multispectral Satellite Product Database button, so click that and you can choose a product database to look at, and then click on a product to get to the product editor. And there's a whole bunch of options associated with that. So that's a quick roundup of the new features that are in ProRaster Scientific in the user interface.